The simplicity of the gospel.
So Paul told Timothy, don't get caught up in these things. Whatever God created on this earth, you give thanks, you receive it, you eat it, and you go along with it. So a lot of y'all can thrive out in the Middle Eastern countries. A lot of y'all that shaking your head saying, yes, yes, yes. You go out there and you can thrive with those meats and dainty dishes that they have out there. You're still saying yes? You see? But you want to tell me that I should have eaten the fuzzy creature. Anyhow, let's go on. We go on. In 2 Timothy chapter 1, we're talking about godliness. Reading from verse 1, it says, this know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves. They shall be covetous. They shall be boasters. They shall be proud. They shall be blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. They should be traitors. They shall be heady and high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. And then we get to the next verse. The next part of the verse, it says, having a form of godliness, having a form of spiritual fitness. And as I read that, I said to myself, I wonder what they've been boosting up with. If these are ones who have a form of godliness. When you think about, bring it into the natural context, you know, you have athletes. There's some who may want to enhance their performance. What do? They boost up. They take steroids and other stimulants and all these things. If you think about somebody who may be having trouble with their sexual life, what do? They boost up. They take some stimulant. They have a form of godliness. Look at the bodybuilders, those who want to have the appearance of all these muscles and the triceps and the biceps and whatever seps it may be. They take steroids, but it is fake. It didn't come natural. And that is what is happening in the world today. There are those who have a form of godliness by whatever steroids they go on, by whatever realm they tap into, by whatever knowledge besides the knowledge and wisdom of God that they tap into. They have a form of godliness, but they deny the power thereof. And it is my prayer that none of us within the hearing of my voice who are counted in the household of faith do not find yourselves in such a position where you have a form of godliness, but you deny the power that comes with godliness. You are unable to function in the capacity. Something comes up. You can't even say Jesus because those words can't pass between your teeth. But still you pride yourself, bad word to use, in being a child of God. Something comes up and the first things that come out of your mouth are just death, 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 death. I can't do this. This is going to happen and that is going to happen. Even though God's word says death and life are in the power of the tongue, but choose life so that you would live. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 11 says, reading from verse 11, and again, this is the Amplified Version. Beloved, I urge you as aliens and strangers in this world. That's who we are. As believers, that's who we are. We are aliens and strangers in this world. If you go back to 1 Timothy chapter 1 and read again, you can see what this world involves. As I read that list before, remember? Haters, heady, lovers of themselves rather than lovers of mankind. That's what the world involves and entails. I urge you as aliens and strangers in this world to abstain from the sensual urges, those urges that would cause us to pull away and to be conformed to what this world looks like and behaves like. I urge you to abstain from sensual urges. And those sensual urges are dishonorable desires that wage war against the soul. Verse 12 says, keep your behavior excellent among the unsaved Gentiles. Conduct yourself honorably with graciousness and integrity. And as you read, I hope that you are connecting the dots. When you read, you're going to see virtue. You're going to see knowledge. You're going to see endurance. You're going to see patience, which all culminate into godliness. Keep your behavior excellent. And this is one of the areas where we mess up as children of God. Keep your behavior excellent among the ungodly, before the ungodly, before the unsaved. Conduct yourself honorably with graciousness and integrity. And he gives us a reason why. He says, so that for whatever reason they may slander you as evildoers, yet by observing your good deeds, they may instead come to glorify God in the day of visitation when he looks upon them with mercy. So you see, one of the purposes for us to live godly is not only for ourselves, but for others who look on and see. And those others may not be far away. They could be right in your own home. I'm sure there are a number of homes here today, represented today, where there is at least one person in that house that's not living for Christ. Does your godliness shine forth before them? Does your light shine forth before them so that they will see your good works and come to glorify God the Father? Godliness. Having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. You see the power that is there when we live godly before the unbelievers? They're impacted. They're impacted by our lives. So there may be those in your home. There may be those in your neighborhood. And at times I have to sit back and do a little bit of introspection. And I say, Lord, what do my neighbors think about me? When I analyze those that are around me, and I see many of them are not believers, my lifestyle, God, is it impacting them? So, sometimes you got to let them drive on your lawn. Sometimes you got to let them throw a little something on your property. Yeah. You get a little bit antsy on the inside. But then you got to remember that you got to let your light shine. So if you want to take up the whole front lawn, go right ahead. And I know some of you ain't going to say that. You're not going to say that. But godliness is important, not only for us, but for those who look on. I had an unfortunate, or found myself in an unfortunate situation where I was among some persons at an event, some of whom go to church regularly. I would label it as that. And some who don't. And in this setting, there was a gentleman who was using the facilities and passing up and down. And any eye can see by the way he was dressed and the way he was carrying himself that he was on the other side. And y'all know what I mean when I say that. And as he passed up and down, and at the last time he passed, I happened to be close to the crowd, the group that I was with. And I heard one of the elder persons in that group, whom those among the group highly regard and respect. They shouted across to another person who was there. And they said, look to your left. Because they wanted to get that person, because that person came late. They probably would not have seen them before. They wanted that person to get the attention of that gentleman passing. Didn't say it quietly, he said it loud. And the young man heard. And everybody there started to laugh. And I felt so embarrassed to be close to that group. Because we don't understand our testimony. We don't understand. And then in the end, we expect to be able to minister to such persons. How can we? And the young man passed on, and he looked back and he muttered something. And before he muttered, I said to the others, I said, what y'all laughing at? These are souls to be saved. Souls that are lost. And this is the way that we are behaving. Not only bringing something negative in that young man's mind, but also to those among us who are also unsaved. And then when the young man passed back, you know who he came back with? Those who he came back with, among one of them, was one person who was so friendly to us when she passed first. And when I saw it, I said, wow, because I knew that he went and he told them what they had done. It's unfortunate. We can't live like that if we call ourselves Christians, if we call ourselves believers. Jesus never treated any sinner like that. But how do we treat the sinners? And then expect to say, I'm inviting you to church Sunday. Then expect to say, you need Jesus, you know. You need Jesus, you know. You're doing a lot of foolishness. What you're doing is stupid. How do we expect to be able to be effective in our witness if we don't have, first and foremost, good morals? You see, if we had good morals, we would know that, and knowledge, we would know that that's not the way to behave. It's a recipe for spiritual growth. How many of you intend to grow spiritually? My hands are up. So let's endeavor to take in this recipe. So next to godliness, we're to add brotherly kindness. That is the love of brothers or sisters, those among ourselves, the love that Christians cherish for each other as brothers, as brethren. If we have true and genuine love for each other as brethren, then the things that we read in 1 Timothy would not be named or listed among us. Let me read them again. Lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God. If we have true brotherly kindness, then none of those things listed there should be found in our character. None of those things. Romans chapter 12, reading from verse 9 in the Amplified Version again, it says, love is to be sincere and active. A lot of us say, I love, but that's as far as it goes. As far as words, what about actions? We hear the saying, actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. Actions speak louder than words. It's good, yes, because we women like to hear when our husbands say, I love you. It is good when we can hear that, but it's even better when we can see the actions that line up and match up and bear up those words of I love you. Love is to be sincere. Love is to be active. It is the real thing. It is without guile. It is without hypocrisy. We are encouraged to hate what is evil, detest all ungodliness, and not tolerate wickedness. We are encouraged to hold on tightly to what is good. When you hold on to what is good, especially when it comes to dealing with people, and you hold on to what is good, you'll be able to demonstrate brotherly kindness in an easier way. But when you hold on to things, maybe somebody had done you something, said something about you, and you keep that embedded. You remember what she said about me? You remember what he said about me? And every time you see them, you're riled up on the inside. That does something to the love that you are supposed to display to that individual. It is not pure. It is not the real thing. Hold on tightly to what is good. Remember, the word of God says, whatsoever things are good, whatsoever things are pure, think on those things. Let those things resonate in your mind, and when they resonate in your mind, they go down and settle in your heart.
The simplicity of the gospel.